Hello friends, and welcome back to another video. It's Patricia with Stitches by Pati if you're new here, and today I have some very exciting news from Meeee Yarns. They are coming out with not only 12 new colors of the little bunny yarn, but they're also coming out with their line of bunny yarn, which is a weight 7 bulky yarn. The previous little bunny yarn is a weight 5, so this one is a little thicker, and there's 20 colors in the bunny collection. So let me show you guys what Meeee sent over to me so we can try it out together. Look at all the bunny yarn. Okay, so I have a few colors of each. I'm gonna show you guys all of them, and then we're gonna talk about how we can use this yarn, because I know sometimes this kind of fluffy yarn can be really intimidating. I personally sometimes am super intimidated when crocheting with it, but we are going to face our fears today in this video, and we're gonna work with some little bunny and bunny yarn. Here are the 4 colors of little bunny yarn that we have. Also, we have a guest this video. We have Kalista here. I am dog sitting, but here are the 4 colors that I have. This is the color Kelly. This is the color Poppy. We have pale gray, and we also have a tangerine. So I already have a couple projects in mind for these, but this is the texture of little bunny yarn. If you guys know Meeee, you probably have worked with this. I have, I think, brown, pink, white, and black in my collection. So these are actually all new colors for me. They did at one point also have like tie-dye little bunny, which was really, really gorgeous and pretty. But here we have the little bunny colors. And now we get to the bunny brights. So as you can see, they are much chunkier, much fluffier than the previous little bunny. And this is the color white. Then we have blue, teal, and teddy bear. Look how cute they all are. Let me show you guys a comparison of what this looks like compared to the little bunny yarn that you already know. So this one is 2 weight sizes bigger, so it will be thicker, but let's do a comparison. Here is what little bunny over here in the lighter gray looks like, and then bunny brights is a much thicker. As you can see, there's a lot more fibers. The fibers are longer. So this yarn can be a little tricky to work with because it is so fluffy. It's hard to see your stitches, but I'm going to show you how I like to utilize little bunny yarn. You don't necessarily have to use it for your entire project. You can use it to add accent. You can use it for a specific part of the body. For this week, I really want to make my Francis the mushroom boy or the mushroom guy pattern, and we are going to use the colors Poppy and Tangerine for the tops of Francis for his mushroom cap, and then we're also going to pair it with Parfait Chunky. I think I want to use their new marshmallow color for that, for the spots and for the body. I think it'll look absolutely stunning. And then we have to figure out what we're gonna make as like a whole project in this yarn and the bunny brights, because I have used little bunny already. I feel like I really want to try bunny brights in this seal color. I'm actually thinking I should probably try it on a hippo. If you guys didn't watch my previous video, I am releasing a hippo snuggler pattern, and I have to work on the plushie pattern. So I feel like this would be a good time to try it out, see how it would look in fluffy yarn. We'll have a fluffy hippo. And those are the plans for right now. I also want to thank Meeee for gifting this yarn to me along with a few other goodies. I'll show you guys that right now, but I feel like they're all so useful. First of all, right off the bat, we had a little tote bag, which if you guys didn't know, I love tote bags. I get them from Trader Joe's a lot. I get them from Marshall's a lot because they are so useful, and this is honestly perfect. I could even put my whips in here, so love this. Then I thought it was so funny that they sent this. Not that obviously they knew, but Miso chewed up my previous measuring tape, and look at this. It's a measuring tape, so honestly perfect. And then I do have a little sticker in here too. Side note, I also really appreciate when brands handwrite notes, so this is so cute. Next, we also have a little notebook, perfect for pattern notes, sketches, all that good stuff. And this is another thing that I love. I love pencil cases. And this one has like whip finisher, didn't lose count, expert frogger, fluent in pattern abbreviations, yarn chicken, yarn chicken winner, I'm dead. And in this little pencil case, we also got a pen, a little mini notebook with some post-it notes. We have a little game. These are so nostalgic. I used to have these as a kid and I would play with them all the time. And then unfortunately I was already on vacation when they sent this, but it says there's a good chance that this is filled with yarn or full of yarn, and it's a little luggage tag. I thought it was so cute. So thank you Premier Yarns for sending over all these goodies. And now let's not waste any time and let's get to crocheting, because I can't wait to see how Frances would look like in fluffy yarn, especially with the fluffy mushroom tops. I think it's gonna look so cute. Also, if you guys are curious, these are what the new colors are going to be. These are Little Bunny new colors. I love pistachio and blue. Those two, I don't know for what reason, but they're really sticking out to me. And you guys can already purchase these as I'm releasing this video. And here we have the Bunny Brights, 20 new colors. I mean, they're stunning, especially this row over here. I really like that. This row and then this row. Those are my favorite types of colors, but so many colors to choose from. And these are perfect for accents if you're doing like dog plushies or animal plushies in general, something that's fluffy and fuzzy. Perfect. Friends, I wanted to share an update about the first project that I made with Little Bunny from Parfait Chunky. I made Frances the Mushroom Buddy. This is my own pattern. It is no-sew and it's missing eyes as per usual, and I also didn't tuck in the tails yet. However, I do have some notes about this yarn. So with this yarn, I still do use a 4.5mm crochet hook, the same as I do for Parfait Chunky and for any like weight 5 yarn, and it does work up pretty well. I will say my advice for this, you will have to sort of feel out your stitches when you start your magic ring and you're really not used to this kind of fluffy yarn. Mark each of those stitches as you make them in the magic ring, and it'll help you find the beginning stitch. And then after that, you kind of have to feel the stitches for where they are, or you can mark every other stitch or every few stitches. For example, if you have single crochet increase times 6, mark every single crochet, and that will help you, because after a while you do get a feel for it. This is not my first time working with this kind of yarn, so a regular stitch marker worked for me, just marking the start of each round. But I thought that would be a nice helpful tip if you guys are struggling with using this type of yarn. But it is so cute. I love how fluffy his little mushroom cap is, and I think the orange will look really cute with this as well. I don't know if I should make another mushroom or if I should move on to making the hippo, but I'm also thinking, what if I used the bigger Bunny Brights yarn to make a brown mushroom, and then we can use Sweet Snuggles Light for the base, because I unfortunately do not have my Premier blush yarn yet, so we'll have to use Sweet Snuggles Light. But this is what it looks like, and I really love mixing textures when I'm crocheting. I think it looks super cute. So even if you don't want to use Little Bunny or Bunny Brights for your whole project, like super fluffy, I think it looks so good with accents for like the mushroom cap in this example. But I was also thinking this would be so cute if you were doing like a lion's mane, or if you were trying to add fuzz or like show a furry kind of animal. For example, what I also thought would be really cute would be a monkey, where the main color of the monkey, the brown, would be brown fluffy, and then the accent, so like the face where it's lighter, it would be Parfait Chunky or like a more solid smooth yarn. And then you can really make it pop and like super unique by using fluffy yarn for the brown on the monkey or whatever color you wanted to make the monkey. And yeah, this is what it looks like. I think it's so cute, and this is also perfect for moss. If you guys wanted to do a mushroom and add moss to it, or if you wanted to do some kind of sea creature and add sea moss to it, it would be perfect. But yeah, I love using fluffy yarn in this way. So that is all for tonight. This was my first project with the Little Bunny yarn, and I'm so happy with it. Also, I will have the yarn linked down below so you can check out Premier's website, and I do get a small commission for whenever you guys order through that link. And also, this is Calista. She is my sister's dog, and she's just so adorable, and she's so much bigger than my dog. She's like 3 times their size, but she's so cute. Say hi, Kali. Say hi. We are back today to do some more crocheting with the new bunny yarn, and here's the finished products from yesterday. I did add in the eyes. No, they are not glued on. And I tucked in all the ends, and he's so cute. And this is my Frances the Mushroom Buddy pattern. If you are interested, I will have it linked down below. And today we have a different project that we're doing, and we're mixing a lot of textures and a lot of different yarns, and I'm so excited about it. So the star of the show will be our Bunny Brights yarn, and this is in the color Teddy Bear. How cute! And then we are going to be making my Bumblebee bear, so we're using the brown color for the teddy bear, and it's also going to be super fuzzy. And then for the body, we are going to use Premier Chenille Basics, and I believe this is in the color Chocolate. This is a blanket yarn, and to go with this blanket yarn, for the stripes of the bee, we are also going to be using Sweet Snuggles Light in the color Mustard. So we already have 3 different textures going here. And then for the snout of the bear, we are going to be using Premier Chenille Basics in the color Winter White. So this is our color palette. I think it looks so adorable. So we have 3 different textures. We have a smooth chenille, we have a blanket yarn, and then we also have a fluffy yarn. So let me get started on this and we'll see how it turns out. Really quick before I go, I'm going to be using a 5.5mm hook. These are weight 7 yarns. I believe Sweet Snuggles Light is a weight 6, but we will be using a 5.5 for both. And I'll let you guys know if I have any problems with it, if I needed to size up, but most likely I'm going to stick with the 5.5. Okay, I just want to say I was a little worried about finding my stitches with this yarn, but I'm going to show you guys how it looks like. And honestly, when you part the fur, actually you can kind of see it here. You can totally see your stitches. Right now, this looks like a crazy mess of fur, but when you split the yarn, you actually see your stitches perfectly. And for this yarn, I would suggest the chain 2 method for starting out your amigurumi, because it is hard to pull the magic ring shut. But as you can see, once you do that, you see your stitches pretty clearly, and you just go in between like usual, and there you go. I know some of them are muddled, but if you just separate the yarn a little bit, you can see, and it turns out super big and fluffy and chunky. So this is an ear. It doesn't look like anything right now, but once we put it all together, it will look super cool. I know you guys are curious as to what this bear is looking like, and I want to show you the skein first. This is all I have left. So I want to go over some of the specs on the Bunny Brights yarn. So it is a weight 7 yarn. It comes with 43 yards or 40 meters. It's 3.5 ounces, and it is 100 grams. So standard 100-gram ball. And the little bunny is 109 yards or 100 meters. It's 3.5 ounces, 100-gram ball. So you do get a lot more yardage from the little bunny because it is a thinner yarn. It's not as fluffy. But yes, those those are the measurements. Now I'm not going to hold out any longer. I'm going to show you guys the bear head I made yesterday. Ta-da! Isn't it so cute and fluffy? Also, it's huge. It is so much bigger than I thought it would be. I mean, look at my head and the bear head. It's pretty big. So when we get back later, I need to figure out how we're going to make the body, because I wasn't expecting the head to turn out so big, but we're going to try it. If anything, it'll be like a tiny body, big head kind of thing with bigger limbs. I think it'll look so cute. And also, we're going to play yarn chicken because I'm not sure if I'll have enough yarn to make all the limbs. So we'll figure that out as we go. But here's the little bear head. It is so cute. And what I noticed with this yarn, to make it super fluffy so that all the fluff doesn't stay inside, after you complete a stitch, kind of pull up your hook a little bit so the fluff comes out, and then tuck it back in. And that will give you the look of the super fluffy yarn. Is it a little bit tedious? Yes, but I found that that works great, and that way you have more fluff on the outside. So that's what I was doing while I was crocheting. I would finish the single crochet, tug out the loop on my hook, and then I would take my working yarn and just pull it back, and most of the fluff would stay on the outside, and that's how I was able to get a super fluffy look for this bear. So with that being said, we're going to be using a mixture of Premier Chenille Basics and Sweet Snuggles Light to complete the body, and then we're going to play yarn chicken with the limbs because I don't know what that's gonna look like. Hey friends, a slight change of plans. We lost yarn chicken so bad. I mean, this is 1 foot and this is half of another foot. We definitely did not have enough to make all the limbs plus the head. We may have had enough yarn to finish off this leg if I didn't scrap a couple pieces of this yarn, but that's a fail. So this is how the yarn works up. It works up really great, but you definitely need a couple skeins to finish one project. I would say if you're making my bear in all solid colors, you would need about 3 skeins of this yarn to complete it because I don't think it would have been enough to just have 2 skeins. So probably 3 skeins to complete it if you were doing solid. And I definitely needed another skein to finish up the limbs. But here's what we're gonna do instead. We're going to use Little Bunny and we're going to use Parfait Chunky and White to make a hippo. I'm coming out with a hippo pattern, and I did already do the lovey version. If you saw my vacation vlog, you would have seen how that looks like, but right now we're going to work on the plushie version. I'm obviously going to make more than one hippo plushie, but we're going to try it with Little Bunny, and this way we'll do like a full project in this fluffier yarn, and we'll see how that goes. I have an update on the hippo plushie. Here are the 2 little arms. Aren't they so cute? They look so good in this fluffy, fuzzy yarn. I love it so much, and they are so soft. You guys, I've actually really enjoyed working with Little Bunny yarn. I have to say, I'm not sure why I didn't work with it before. I was on the phone with my friend yesterday, and I was like, as I was crocheting, I was like, why don't I work with this yarn more often? And now that they have new shades, I am so excited. I also have to check if they still have their tie-dye ones because I love those so much, and they would look so gorgeous, especially for another pattern that I have in mind. So anyways, I'm gonna keep working on this, and then I'll show you guys how it looks all worked up. I think I will have not an issue, but it will be a little difficult to crochet the limbs and other pieces into the body and into the head because I cannot see my stitches. So if you guys are anticipating having that issue, I would just add 3 stitch markers or however many stitch markers you need into each of the spaces. That way it's much easier when you connect things in a no-sew pattern. If you're sewing, obviously it's a little bit different, but especially if you're doing no-sew projects, definitely add stitch markers if you're not confident with finding the stitches on your own. I present to you Honey and Kalisa. This is my sister's dog. If you guys didn't know, I'm watching her for the time being, but I present to you the fluffy hippo. Isn't he so cute? Don't mind that he doesn't have eyes. I'm not sure which eyes I want to use on him, so I don't have any on him right now, but it is made entirely in Little Bunny yarn except for the toe beans because obviously Kalista approves. She said it's cute, but this is going to be my new no-sew pattern, but I did want to try it with Little Bunny because I thought it would be so cute. I kind of wish I had a light blue in this color because with the hippo it would look amazing. So let me show you the 3 different ways or 3 different types of things I use for this new yarn. So first of all, we have the Bunny Brights in the color Teddy Bear, and then I mixed it with Premier Chenille Basics. I think it worked up pretty well. Overall, just keep in mind when you get this yarn, you will need a couple skeins, at least 2 skeins if you're making a bigger project. So this is what it looks like. Overall, I feel like this yarn isn't that hard to work with. I would need to size up my hook to I think a 6 or a 6.5. I was using a 5.5 because that's just what I had on hand, but I definitely think 6 or 6.5. I do have pretty tight tension, so I do use, I think, a smaller hook than usual. But overall, this yarn looks absolutely amazing, and it is so soft. And I'm sure with this yarn, you can also brush it out when it gets a little matted. So for longevity purposes, definitely brush it out with like a toothbrush to maintain the fluffiness. Also, this yarn really doesn't shed unless you cut it. Then yes, initially you will get some shedding from it. However, it's nothing like where you sew with it that it sheds. When I was closing up the magic ring, no shedding whatsoever except when I cut it. Next up, we have these 2 little guys. Both of these were made with a mix of Little Bunny and Parfait Chunky. So first we have the mushroom. So cute, so adorable. Overall, I do like working with Little Bunny more than I do with Bunny Brights, mainly because I'm not a fan of working with thicker yarns like Sweet Snuggles, stuff like that. That is not my vibe. I prefer thinner yarns that require a 5.5 hook at most. So I did like working with this one a lot more. This one, well, for both of them, you definitely want to use a stitch marker because it's harder to see your stitches since the yarn is very fluffy and it covers up the base of the yarn, which is a little rope texture. But here is what they look like blended together, and this is used as more of like an accent in your plushies. And then we have the hippo, where the main yarn that's being used is the Little Bunny. It is so soft, so fuzzy, and you really can't tell it's crocheted except for the toe beans because I did use parfait chunky for those. But I think it's so cute, and it's a really unique way to make your plushies different, to make them look like they're not even crocheted. So these are all the ways in which you can use fluffy yarn. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Come back next week, we'll do some more crocheting. Let's see what we can get up to, perhaps make some new patterns, who knows. But thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on your bell notifications if you'd like to be notified anytime I post. And my puppies and I will see you then.